What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. Do me a favor before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Do it now. You got time. It is a talk show, as you guys know. So at any point during the show, you can call in at 888-775-3773, and we can talk about whatever's on your mind, and we can get into it. We can argue, we can agree, we can fight, whatever you want to do. I'm here for it. So you can call in at any point during the live show at 888-775-3773. And if for whatever reason you cannot call in, but you still have a question or comment, you can send your question or comment to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. And there you can send your question or comment, or you can just support the show, or by clicking the super chat button in the live chat here on YouTube. Clicking the super chat button and send your question or comment there as well. There's also many alternative donation platforms where, if you'd like to support the show, you can do that by clicking the All My Links page, which is pinned in my live chat. It is allmylinks.com/JoelFridayTV, and there you can have your other ways to support the show. Amazing stuff. What's going on, chat? Shout out to my live chat. Shout out to the mod squad. How you guys doing? Amazing stuff. Jose says, what's up, Joel? What's up, Jose? What's up, Chris? Zenny? Amazing stuff. I wanted to clear something up that I said yesterday as well before we get started here. We got a show for you guys today. We got some clips. We got some pictures. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking that mess about all the pictures, I gotta make sure that they're plugged in. We got pics to show you guys. We are jamming today. So make sure, let's see if this is the right one. Nope. What about this one? There we go. Make sure you guys tell your peoples, because we got some stuff to show you today. I wanted to clear something up real quick. Hey, Ivana. Yesterday I said that we were talking about a father's love, and that the children need a father's love, because the father is the leader and the example of the home. But I said that, and maybe nobody even picked it up, but, just wanted to clear it up, is that I said that only men can bring security to the home. And that's not entirely wrong, but women can also bring, once they overcome, they can also bring security to their children, because they have to. Because if the children, while the man is away working and providing, if the woman is not in the home with the light of God within her, bringing confidence and security to her children while the man is away, then they're going to create insecure children. But the man indeed is the leader, and the man indeed brings the strength. And there's just different roles that are brought into play when it comes to raising a family, where the women and the men both are equally important. But the woman can bring security too, but she has to be secure within herself by knowing God and returning to God. So it is possible. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up, even though I think everybody kind of knew what I meant anyway, but maybe for the new watchers, I wanted to clear that up. Um, um, um. Um, 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 um. Oh, shoot. I got my chest all out. Why don't you guys tell me I was naked? What the? Let's see. Do I like that? I don't even. No, that looks too preppy. That looked like I need glasses. No. Sorry. Just keep your mind out the gutter. If you're looking for some chest hair, you ain't gonna find it. It ain't there. Sorry, beta. So I was showing where my chest hair potentially would be. um, Terry says Joel being fake modest. I'm acting. I'm pretending. I had a plan to come here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in here, show this chest. But then I'm going to say, oh, shoot. Don't look at my chest. Anyway. Imposing your religion on others. So I have so much that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to get your guys' opinion on it. I got some clips to show you. I have this pic I want to show first, and then we're going to get to the clips. I have some clips to show you about Kanye. Kanye's always on the internet. And like I have some examples I want to show. Like some things that he said, and a lot of people are making a fuss about it. I don't know about a lot of people, but some Christians are making a fuss about it. And I want to kind of get into that. So we are going to get into that. I have some clips to play for you guys. So it should be an entertaining, fun show. But first, I want to show you imposing religion on others, because the entire message, along with the Kanye clips, are all going to tie into why I feel that is the biggest mistake people make, is trying to get other people to see their point of view. You should never try to get anybody to see your point of view. You can state your case, but that's it. We can't convince people, or else we're pushing them further away. So I was like looking at this ad. I don't know if it was an ad. I found it on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up. And I was on there, and on Instagram, there was this picture. Let me know if you guys see it. There's this picture right here of in Target, they're advertising, I guess, this type of brand where it's like this, what is that, a goat? A goat with these long horns, and it's all red. And yeah, just basically like almost it's looking demonic. It's given devilish vibes. And then of course they got the kids wearing the clothes and stuff like that, right? And Christians obviously are outraged by this. And I get it. It's kind of like inappropriate, not even kind of, very inappropriate. And then to have kids up in it, like whatever, but people have the right to do whatever they want with their children. But my thing is that there's Christians who say that this is bad. Hold on, let me do it on so you guys can see me. There's Christians who say this is bad, right? But they would like celebrate if it was the reverse, right? As if Jesus was on that same podium or the same like same advertisement in Target. If that was Jesus there instead of the goat, and it was Jesus advertisement, Jesus clothing, and if it was about God, then the churches and the people would be like, right on. Target's starting to wake up. Target, they're getting it now. People, wow, this is such a great, they would see it as a victory, right? But it's the same thing. It's the same coin because you're imposing the religion. And this is my opinion. You're opposing the religion on other people. It's the same thing. And that's my problem with Christianity today is that Christians want to pick and choose righteousness. But like they want to bash the demonic things, the secular world, but then they want to like Bible thump Jesus. You know what I mean? And Zenny says it's not the same thing. What makes you think not, Zenny? Because for me, it's like what like this is like an apparent and obvious. Here, let me click back to me. This is like an apparent and obvious intentional advertisement. When if you're gonna have your brand, let your brand be where it's gonna be, right? But why are we trying to impose anything on anyone? Period. Why impose it? Why impose God? And that's my thing with the Jesus and Zenny says Jesus and Satan aren't the same, right? But it's the same intention. It's the same ego. It's the same desire to try to shove religion, whether good or evil, in somebody's face. It's the same thing. And they're both evil. It's both the same thing. And they're actually both Satan. Satan told you that it's of God that you're doing the Bible thumping or the advertisement of Jesus and the street preaching. Right? But that's just Satan disguised as God saying he's God. And I'm not saying there's not a necessary time for certain things. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that like you're mad that the secular world is imposing secular things, imposing devilish things, but why are the Christians imposing quote unquote godly things? You know what I mean? Like, why? It's ego. Ego from the same place. So I say that to say C-Sal says, I would totally be for imposing Christianity if I didn't know that shoving it in their face doesn't even work anyway. To me, it's like this is what turns people away. It's like I didn't ask for you to tell me about Jesus. I didn't ask for you to tell me about A, B, and C, right? It's like, let people live, let people do their thing. Now, if it's imposed on you righteously, then you can stand up and deal with it. But like people don't, you know what I mean? Like it just feels like control to me. Control what people say, control what people do. Am I alone here? I could be wrong. I could be wrong about things. Am I alone here? But I don't see that to be. I see that as kind of crazy. But that's why we are here to fellowship. And we could disagree. But Christ Conqueror says, people whose heart are away from God cannot be turned away. They are already away. Exactly. I don't know if you're making my point or disagreeing. But I don't think we should push it on anybody. Now, hold on, let me see. That's showing it. I don't know. I think it's the very reason why people don't like to want to be a Christian, because you're not giving people the space to be wrong. Let them be wrong, right? Let people be wrong. because you want to give people freedom. You want people to have the freedom to choose God, right? Not because what they should do, not because what they better do, that to choose God because they see that that's the way to go without pressure and all that stuff. God is not pressure. And there's a time where Christians do need to like stand up when they're being persecuted or they're being imposed on, right? Like a Christian, there's nothing wrong with a Christian going complaining to Target and saying like, we don't want this in Target. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't want to walk in a Target and our children seeing this as a normal thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But to try to take it down and put a Jesus one, I don't know. It seems weird to me. I could be wrong. But like, it just seems weird. Why can't we just be regular? Like, why can't we just have Jesus clothes and then have secular clothes and they both be sold in the Target, right? But why do we have to have a big old statue saying that I'm Satan or a big old statue saying that I'm Jesus? Why does it have to be like that? Why can't it just be normal? I don't know what you're saying, Zen. You're going to have to call in. I agree with that part. I want to hear what you guys think. And then, but let me play these clips of Kanye so you guys can like understand where I'm coming from even more, or maybe even disagree more, but that's okay. But let me show you guys the clips because I want to clear up the confusion really quick. Let me clear up the confusion. This first clip I'm gonna play is Kanye talks about wrestling with Jesus. So he's basically saying that like he has his issues with Jesus and the Christians didn't like that. So let's play this clip.
Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, you know, people, Christians, we depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself.
Wait, guys.
More than.
Sorry. We'll come back to that one.
What is the difference though when you hear, and music is like life, you know what I'm saying? And life, you're kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? And some people try to put you into a yesterday mode. You know, at one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, you know, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands.
So Kanye is basically saying that he's having his issues with Jesus and he cried out to Jesus and Jesus didn't answer his prayer. So he had to take matters into his own hands and do his own thing. And Christians are like, that's blasphemous. And like I heard, I haven't seen actual videos of Christians saying this, but I've heard people tell me that there's reviews online of people saying that that's blasphemous. See, Kanye was never the real deal. He's playing. this is why you shouldn't follow Kanye because he turned on Jesus. This is my thing. This is my opinion. Is that if you're not wrestling or haven't wrestled with God in the sense of like not being so afraid of saying how you're really feeling and really bringing it to the table to make sense of it, then I don't know how real your relationship is with the Father, right? Or how much you know the Father. Because just like your earthly father, just like your earthly mother, when you have disagreements, you voice those disagreements. You don't always agree, but you voice it. I think it's perfectly normal to wrestle with God. Not in a disrespectful way, but even so, even if it was in a disrespectful way, God still knows your heart, right? But that's not what I'm saying. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying is like, why would you not? Why is there such a fear? And it's because of a lack of knowing who God really is. Why is there such a fear to ask questions? Like, I don't understand why you're doing this, Scott. I'm praying and you're not answering me. What is so wrong about that? Because it's real? It's real. You feel that way. God knows you feel that way. So why we try to pretend and not give that to God? Because it's a fear thing. It's a fear thing. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful to God. I don't want to be. But it's real. You're feeling that. That's the thing. And you know that you might be silly when you're thinking that or feeling that. But I've done that plenty of times. Multiple times. Because isn't that what a relationship is? Isn't that what like questioning things are? Isn't that what asking questions are about? And sometimes you're frustrated in those moments, right? You know, when you can't see. And sometimes that's happened to me. And it happens to me. So I don't think that he's less of a Christian for not for doubting, like many people do anyway, for questioning his relationship. I don't think he's a less of a Christian for that. I think that makes him even more of a real person, because he's shedding all these like false teachings of like how we should approach God and be respectful and make sure you don't say the wrong thing and all these things, all these like weird taboo Christian like phony Christian things that keep people from being real and being real with God. Matthew with a super chat out the gate. Joel deep today and shaking up the demons today. Love it. Take my money, bro. Right on, Matthew. Appreciate it. I'm glad one person agree. What the? It's not blasphemous to disagree with the, you know what I mean? Like, Kanye has always been a real person. Now, Kanye has these things that I don't agree with. The things that I'm still trying to figure out, like, what the? But I always respect Kanye because he's been real from the beginning, for as long as I've started paying attention. He's been real. And as much, I much rather a real secular person than a fake Christian. Any day. Any day. Because the fake Christians stab you in the back and kill you. Anyway. Joel got the chat cooking on this one for sure. Let me see what the chat. What you guys saying in the chat? Jacob wrestled, Jeremiah questioned, David lusted after blah, blah, blah. Solomon broke God's command, etc. So just think about this. Just think about this. And I'm going to get to the next clip. Just think about this. Is that you're so afraid to disrespect God by saying, what the, or questioning things, or having an attitude or whatever, right? You're so afraid to do that with God, but not afraid to do sex, lies, and drugs. Sex, drugs, and shortcuts. You ain't afraid when you're doing that? You got a lot of courage then. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's thinking about disrespecting God when they're acting up. But when it comes to prayer, oh, I better make sure I stay in line and pray and don't question God. Why would you not question God? Why would you not question God? How could you not question God? Anyway. Maybe I'm the bad guy today. Let me not go to, but you can call in 888-775-3773 if you disagree or you agree. Let us hear what you have to say. Let me play the second clip. Kanye talks about prayer. Zenny says, what's the point of questioning God? To make sense of what's going on, to understand things. To make sense of it. For one, to get it off. You know what I mean? Sometimes speaking it helps you make sense of it. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that it's like a righteous thing to be frustrated in questioning God. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that that's a standard. But I'm also saying it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And a lot of times we have questions, but we're afraid to ask because we don't want to be disrespectful. Or we have there's things that we don't understand and whatever. But Zenny, let me ask you, why would you say you're afraid to feel that way? And then I'm gonna get to some calls, but let's do the prayer one.
Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, Christians, we depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is it's just always I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. Mm-hmm. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification.
I'm gonna come back to that because I'm looking at the questions here in the chat going crazy. And I love it, though. I love the fact that everybody's getting involved in this topic. C-Style says, if you trust completely, you wouldn't question. I could be wrong. I agree, C-Style. I agree. If you trust completely, you would not question. And you would just trust. And there would be no frustration. And there would be no doubt. and you would have no reason to argue, right? To wrestle. I agree 100%. I'm on board with that. I agree with that. And I think maybe that's the point that Zenny's trying to make as well. And I agree. But until people meet that mark, until people can carry that out or walk that out, there's frustrations and questions that come about on the way. You know what I mean? There's are natural things. It's natural things that you happen. Sometimes kids get frustrated with their parents' direction and they ask why. Why can't I go play with my friends? I want to play. Look, everybody's having fun. Why can't I go play? And yes, if the kid knew right from wrong, he would know why, right? But he doesn't know why. So he's frustrated and he's questioning. Why can't I do it, Dad? Why can't I do it? On our way to understanding, on our way to insight, on our way to walking in the spirit, we have frustrations and we have questions. And I don't think it's wrong to express that, is what I'm saying. It's all that I'm saying. I don't think it's wrong to do it. And I almost think that if it hasn't happened, well, I don't want to say that because I don't know everybody else's situation. But to me, that has happened because I've had questions. So that's the point that I'm making. I'm going to get to a call and we'll come back to clips because I don't want to get too much off a topic. See, Jose says, oh my God. See, Sal said, because I'm your mother, and I said, hey, people, if that's your thing, then that's your thing. I just view it differently, and and I could be wrong too. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just feel like when I ask questions, God gives me the answer. Not all the time, but when I question, and it says in the Bible, seek and you'll find. Ask and you shall receive. You know what I mean? So if I ask for something, why wouldn't he give the answer? Now, if I'm asking from an arrogant place or an angry place, he doesn't always answer, which is why Kanye is not getting the answer. Possibly, I don't know his life, but that could be the reason. Maybe it's from the wrong agenda. Do you really want to know, or you wanted something from God, from an ego place? So, but that's hilarious. Definitely that kid. Joel was definitely that kid, says Thomas. I definitely was that kid. Question. Because I just wanted to understand. Vast. I can't read that. Oh, man, this is a good one. Zenny says, actually, scratch that. I am afraid. LOL. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Zenny, I got a clip for you that I'm going to play after, if the Lord is willing, we get to it. That is going to talk about that. That's going to be our transition. But let me get to, Joel just wanted to go hoop. What the? Let me get to Jess out of Pennsylvania. Jess, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joel. Thanks again for taking my call.
Hey, Jess. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
All is well.
Just working like always.
Nice.
On my lunch break. So I'll make it quick because you want to get to that clip. But so in the beginning about the whole like store, Target, whatever, having that. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I don't care. I think it's just like I don't care what other companies are doing, regardless of either or. That's kind of my standpoint, because at the end of the day, even if they were to be like, okay, we're going to put an angel and we're just going to have all this, stuff about Jesus, there's a lot of people right now that are walking with stuff on, crosses and whatever, and they don't, they're not portraying anything godly.
Right.
So who is it? What would make the difference if like a store sold that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, on that.
That's a good
and
point.
then the last thing is I had actually seen something online the other day, and I think it kind of goes with like what Kanye and the part specifically to where he prayed.
Not to cut you off, but I want to just make a quick comment to the Target thing, and then I'll let you get to that. Is that with the Target thing? I think you make a great point. Is that from the perspective of Target is its own corporation, and the CEO and the man or whoever, they have the right to do whatever you want, and that's true.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of, if they want to even have that thing in there, they have the right to have it. And if you don't like it, you just don't have to go. So you're right about that. But go ahead.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you get to choose, right, where you shop. If you don't like it, then don't give them your money. It's plain and simple, really.
Exactly. Good point.
Yeah, on either side, really. I mean, someone could get upset if there is godly stuff because, like we were talking, like you're talking, it's pushing, this is pushing it down my throat.
Right.
It's like I can see it from both sides.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I'm just indifferent. I don't care. Because it doesn't, that clothing and what you wear isn't changing someone's heart.
Right.
It's just like a billboard for something.
Exactly. Exactly.
But so regarding the Kanye part where he was talking about how he's praying and then got upset because there was no answer, I saw this like imagery piece where, and I'll paint it for you. It was basically two people in a ditch that they couldn't themselves climb out of, and there was a tree at the very top in the middle. And there was two people for this, let's just say there was someone with a pure heart, crying out to God, and someone who was, because they're in a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
I've prayed like that. I'm sure a lot of people have, where we're just desperate, but the reason to why we're praying for that isn't quite pure, I would say.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening in this imagery piece is that God answers technically both of their prayers, and he strikes down the tree so that now there is limbs, right, that are in their hole. Let's just say that they're in. And
there was what in the hole? There was what in the hole?
Like the branches from the tree.
Okay.
Like the limbs of the tree.
Oh, the limbs.
Yeah,
okay.
And so the person that was crying out to God with an impure heart basically cursed God. Like, why would you do this to me? As if this was a negative thing that God did. And in the other one, the person actually created a ladder out of the wood and got themselves out of the hole.
Yeah.
So I think it was really, when I watched it, it was really deep to me, because it goes to that when we pray for things, even if it is pure, the way that it can get answered might not be how you're expecting.
Right.
And I think when we have expectations on what the answer or what the result should be out of that, I think that that's where we need to like reevaluate within ourselves. Because clearly that's not, clearly there's a motive, right?
Right. Right. And we're just not, we're not given, when we're not given what we want, then we're mad about it is because we weren't given what we want. So it's really like an arrogance to be mad about, when God is, he's trying to give you what's best type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I use that as an example because, I mean, I know in my life, there's been times that I've cried out to God, and then I get not angry, but I feel let down. And I still think that that's wrong, to even have that sort of sense like that I need him to answer in the time frame that I'm looking for, or this is what I'm
Yeah.
specifically praying for, and you didn't. You gave me something else. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's perspective a lot of the time,
Yeah.
like how we view things. Because I think God answers a lot of us. It's
Yeah.
just we're too blind to see it
Yeah. No,
because we're so consumed in what we wanted.
no, I agree with what you're saying 100%. It is a arrogant thing, and it is a it's like trying to tell God what to do when you are
Yeah.
mad about certain things. But I also think at the same time is that it's also real though. Like, and I don't want to like take away the fact that people can't be real, because sometimes people have these things within and these questions and this frustration, but they're afraid that they can't be real. And I think it comes down to the heart of it, because yes, it is wrong. Obviously, if you're frustrated or angry, in the times that I was frustrated or angry, that was me not seeing clear, and that was me not reacting from insight. But I do
Yeah.
know that the heart, the intention in my heart, even the awareness of my heart at the time was that, like, I know that you know what's best, and I'm willing to hear you out for whatever you have to however you want to correct me. But at the same time, I knew that these are real questions that I had, and I had to be, I'm not ashamed of being honest, if that makes sense. So,
No, yeah, absolutely. I think there's a fine line. In my opinion, I think
okay,
there's a fine line, right? Like, you can blame God, right? You didn't, and yes, that's an expressive, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think where there could be a difference is, if you're just blaming and you're not seeing, you know,
right, right,
so for example,
right,
it's like, okay, this happened, or there was no answer, and it's more so expressing to God what it is behind that feeling. Like, I am upset because this is what was given and maybe not this. It's because now you're actually aware
yeah,
of where that feeling, like the root of that feeling really came from,
yeah,
instead of just cursing at God, like, why did you do this?
right,
And blaming.
right,
So
right, right,
so yeah, there definitely is a difference, and I agree, because when you said that, it reminded me of King David, and about all the things that he did in his life, and he
right,
messed up, and yet he was considered the man after God's own heart. And you
right,
think, like, what the heck? Like,
right,
there's no way, right? But through the Psalms and stuff, he just, it seemed to me that he poured his heart out regardless. Like,
right,
he was aware of what he was doing wrong
right,
or what he didn't like, and he expressed that. He didn't put blame
right.
on
Great,
anyone but himself.
great point. And you actually brought it more into perspective of the point that I really want to make about it. And I appreciate it because you just brought context to um what it really means to, in my opinion, of being honest in that way. Because like you said, it's not about the blame thing. If you're sitting there blaming and rejecting God because you didn't get what you want, then you're unconscious. But if
Yeah.
you're being honest and getting it off your chest and saying whatever, so though that's still a lack of faith, but you're aware that your heart is still pure in that moment. So I'm gonna expound on that just here, because I'm looking at time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
definitely. Well, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate the talk.
yeah, thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. Yeah, call me again.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
all right, bye. Great point. I'm just looking at time here. I can go and Jess is making great points. But what I want to say is real quick, and then I gotta play this last clip, and then I gotta get to a call. Is that just laid it out exactly the point that I'm trying to make, and I'm gonna do my best to articulate it. So there's been plenty moments, and I still don't feel like it's wrong, right? But there's been plenty moments in my walk, in my journey, so to speak, right? of following God and growing, that every time I was frustrated or I was upset and I had questions, I still brought it to God. I didn't hold it in. I didn't say, well, you know what, I just gotta. No, I was real about the situation. And yes, doesn't mean that that's the right thing that I did it that way. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm also just not saying that it's wrong. But when I did that, I never came from a perspective of blaming or like, and if I did, I was corrected, or if I did, I had realized that I was wrong, right? But I also knew, like, in my heart, and sometimes I would even say, like, I know that I'm not seeing clearly, and I know that you have a bigger plan, but this is how I feel. And when you stay conscious in that way, that's where I feel like it's okay to question things. It's okay to bring it up, right? And I don't think that is wrong. And I don't even think it's wrong to do like Kanye is doing. Let's just say Kanye is blaming, right? I don't know. We don't know how he really feels, right? But let's just say Kanye is blaming God and rejecting God. I don't even feel like that's wrong. I feel like it's lacking faith. Both are. Lacking faith, lacking trust, not seeing clear, asking God to do what he's going to do when you want it. And it is ego, but it's a part of the process to me. It's a part of the process to me because it's real emotions, real feelings, even if they're wrong. And the intent of them is to get the answer. So just like Jess said, a man after God's own heart. Sometimes those things come out, but it doesn't mean you're still not after God's heart. It doesn't mean you're not still purely looking for the intention. You know what I mean? So I don't see it as wrong, and I don't even want to encourage people not to do that. Obviously, you should have perfect faith, trust God, and not be overreacting and not be, in that mind state anyway. Yeah, but that's not always easy to do, and sometimes people don't understand that or can walk in that. So that's my point. But let me do this real quick, and then I'm gonna get to blah blah blah. Dang it! I gotta get to a call. I can't not get to. Let me go to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on there. Couple minutes here.
My brother Joel, how's it going, my man?
All is well, Rick. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I get so sick of the world.
I understand.
The girls go back to them.
You said what?
An interview.
You broke up a little
Charlie
bit.
Kirk was. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you remember when Charlie Kirk was interviewing those girls?
Yeah.
Now they gonna ask how they can. I think it was how they can get a good man and have a good family. You see, and most times when people ask go into like family morality, that gonna involve God. So when you ask, if you recruit people and people give you a godly answer, I don't think that's forcing nobody's religion on them.
No, not if they're asking.
Right. And most times they do ask.
Right. And it's different.
They do ask.
And that's a different, and I agree. Just, I'm agreeing with you. I think that, especially if you're coming to sit down on the interview, and those girls also know, and the guys know, that you're coming there to talk about these things. It's not imposing on them if you know what you're getting into and you get into it. So,
right.
I agree. That's not imposing.
Yeah, and they would say that, and I'm like, hey, you recruited me, brother.
Right. And they knew they knew what they were getting into too. So it's not like, they know what it was.
You're OnlyFans or you're a porn star, and you calling somebody and ask them that you want a good husband. What can you do to have a good husband? If he tell you, he's not imposing. I mean, you asking for the business.
Right.
For real. Yeah.
Exactly.
And, that's it. I mean, it's like they want a lifeline, to be honest.
Yeah. And usually that's used. That's usually when they're losing the argument or they have nothing else to say. It's like just like a cop out thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's a way of rebellion, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
Looking
all that
for a
is.
lifeline.
People find 1,000 ways to break God's commands. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree, Rick. I'm totally out of time though. I appreciate it. Call me again.
All right, Joel. No problem. Talk to you. I will be in tune again. Love you, brothers. Y'all be cool.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Nice. Man. Frederick with the super chat, Christians are going to judge you regardless. We black. Christians are going to judge. Kanye had a little clip of the fear of God and his approach to the fear of God, and I had something to say about it, but I'm out of time. I'm so out of time. But maybe I'll play it tomorrow. I'm here tomorrow's Thursday, my last day of the week. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow if the Lord is willing. We'll see, because 24 hours, all kinds of stuff can happen within 24 hours. But shout out to the chat. I appreciate the chat. Always appreciate the chat. But for being so engaged in the conversation. Because I learned a lot of things too. Jess made some good points. Seasal made some good points. Zenny made some good points. And some other people in here that I read made some good points that made me see clear on some things. So I appreciate it. Right on. Fellowship. Amazing stuff. I gotta go. Listen, but it's not over for you guys. You guys are about to switch right over to American Anchor, baby, and he's gonna bring an amazing show. So make sure you tune into the American Anchor, baby. Coming up next. But I gotta go. We shall resume tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. I gotta get out of here. Joel Friday TV across the board. JOP Network across the board. I'll see you guys later. Bye.